Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our English with Short Story series. I'm so glad you've joined me for episode 10. Can you believe we're already at our 10th story? It's been such a fantastic journey learning together. For those of you who are new here, a huge welcome. This series is all about making English learning fun, natural, and effective. We dive into a captivating story, and along the way, we pick up new vocabulary, understand grammar and context, and improve our listening skills. It's like enjoying a good book while boosting your English at the same time. Today, I've got a really special story for you. One that's filled with a bit of mystery, a touch of humor, and a valuable life lesson. Are you ready? Grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's begin. In the small, picturesque town of Meadowville, there lived a baker named Arthur. Arthur wasn't just any baker. He was an artist. His bakery, the Rolling Pin, was famous throughout the region, not for its bread or its croissants. These weren't ordinary muffins. They were said to capture the taste of a perfect morning. Fluffy, warm, with a secret blend of spices and a hint of citrus that made everyone who ate one feel happy and optimistic. The recipe was a closely guarded secret, passed down through 3 generations of his family. It was kept in a small, leather-bound book, its pages yellowed with age. Let's pause here for a moment. I use the word picturesque to describe Meadowville. Picturesque means visually attractive, especially in a charming or quaint way. Think of a beautiful, old village you might see on a postcard. That's a picturesque town. I also said the recipe was closely guarded. This is a great phrase. It means it was kept very secret and protected carefully. Okay, back to Arthur. One Tuesday morning, disaster struck. Arthur went to his safe where he kept the precious recipe book, but the safe was empty. The book was gone. Panic set in. The annual Meadowville Baking Fair was just 3 days away, and he was the reigning champion. Arthur's heart pounded in his chest. He searched every nook and cranny of the bakery, flour dusting his already messy hair. He looked under counters, inside empty sacks of flour, and even in the oven after making sure it was off, of course. Here's another useful phrase. Nook and cranny. It means every single part of a place, even the small, hard-to-reach corners. So when you search every nook and cranny, you are doing a very thorough search. And what about reigning champion? The reigning champion is the current champion, the person who holds the title right now. For example, you can talk about the reigning champion in a sports tournament. Feeling desperate, Arthur decided he needed help, but he didn't go to the police. He knew exactly who to call, his 10-year-old niece Lily. Lily wasn't just a smart kid. She was exceptionally observant. She noticed things that adults often overlooked. She loved solving puzzles and mysteries, and she idolized her Uncle Arthur. When Arthur called her, his voice trembling, Lily listened patiently. "Don't worry, Uncle Arthur," she said calmly. "I'm on the case." The word observant is a fantastic adjective. It means you are good at noticing details. A detective, a scientist, or a good student needs to be observant. Lily also idolized her uncle. To idolize someone means to admire and respect them very deeply, almost like a hero. Lily arrived at the bakery with her detective kit, a magnifying glass, a notepad, and a half-eaten chocolate bar for energy. She surveyed the scene. "Tell me everything, Uncle Arthur." "From the beginning," she commanded, taking a professional bite of her chocolate. Arthur recounted the morning's events, his hands waving nervously. Lily, however, wasn't looking at him. Her eyes were scanning the floor. "Aha!" she exclaimed, pointing her magnifying glass at something near the safe. On the floor was a single long orange cat hair. "Uncle Arthur," she asked, "does anyone with an orange cat visit you often?" Arthur's face paled. "Oh no," he whispered. "Mrs. Higgins and her cat, Marmalade." Mrs. Higgins was a sweet, elderly lady who came in every morning. She adored Arthur's muffins, but her cat Marmalade was a notorious troublemaker. The fluffy orange cat had a reputation for sneaking into places he shouldn't be. The word notorious is important here. It means famous for something bad. So, Marmalade was famous for being a troublemaker. You can be a notorious criminal or a notorious liar. It has a negative meaning, unlike the word famous. Lily and Arthur rushed over to Mrs. Higgins's cottage, which was just around the corner. Mrs. Higgins was in her garden, watering her roses. "Good morning, Arthur, Lily. Here for your daily chat?" she chirped happily. Arthur, trying to be diplomatic, explained the situation. Mrs. Higgins was horrified. "Oh, dear, Marmalade. That mischievous feline," she cried. She led them inside. And there, in the middle of the living room, was Marmalade. He was curled up in his basket, sleeping soundly. And tucked right beside him, being used as a very comfortable pillow, was the small, leather-bound recipe book. Mischievous feline is a lovely way to describe a cat that causes trouble. Mischievous means causing trouble in a playful way. And feline is just another word for a cat. So Marmalade wasn't evil, just a bit naughty. Marmalade had apparently snuck into the bakery that morning, seen the safe door slightly ajar, and decided the little book looked like the perfect toy to steal. He must have dragged it all the way home. Arthur felt an overwhelming sense of relief wash over him. He carefully retrieved the book from under the sleeping cat's head. He thanked Mrs. Higgins profusely and gave Lily a huge hug. "You saved the day, my brilliant detective," he exclaimed. Lily just smiled and took another bite of her chocolate bar. "It was elementary, my dear uncle," she said with a grin. To thank someone profusely means to thank them a lot with great emotion. It's a strong adverb. And Lily's line, "It was elementary," is a famous quote associated with the fictional detective Sherlock Holmes. It means it was simple, or it was easy to figure out. With the recipe safely back in his hands, Arthur worked tirelessly for the next 2 days. At the baking fair, his sunrise muffins were a bigger hit than ever. When he was awarded the first-place blue ribbon for the 4th year in a row, he did something unexpected. In his acceptance speech, he didn't just thank his family for the recipe. He also told the entire town the story of how it was almost lost and how his clever niece, Lily, had solved the mystery. He even created a new cookie shaped like a cat and named it the Marmalade Muddle in honor of the furry culprit. The town loved the story, and they loved the new cookie. The story teaches us a few things. First, sometimes the answer to a big problem is simpler than we think, and a fresh perspective, like Lily's, can make all the difference. Second, it shows the importance of community and asking for help when we need it. Arthur was too proud at first, but his niece saved him. And finally, it reminds us to find humor and grace in our mistakes. Instead of being angry, Arthur celebrated the incident with a new creation. He turned a potential disaster into a wonderful new tradition. From that day on, Arthur kept his recipes safe, but he also learned to be a little less secretive. He even started teaching Lily some of the simpler baking techniques, knowing that the true legacy wasn't just a book, but the love and passion for baking that you share with others. And as for Marmalade, he became a local celebrity, forever known as the cat who tried to steal the sunrise. What a fun little story, right? It's full of great vocabulary and expressions that you can start using in your own conversations. Words like picturesque, observant, notorious, and phrases like nook and cranny or reigning champion. Try to use one of them this week. Maybe describe your town as picturesque or call your pet a mischievous feline. The best way to remember new words is to use them. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 10. I hope you enjoyed. The curious case of the missing recipe as much as I enjoyed telling it. Learning English is a journey, and stories are the perfect vehicle to make that journey exciting and memorable. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next story. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the story or if there are any new words you learned today. Thanks again for watching, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.